What's going on YouTube? 𝒃𝒆𝒔𝒕 here, and welcome back to Greenland. So after looking at this whole setup right here, this interchange and this interchange, it doesn't look all that great, to be honest. I think we can do a lot better. So I've spent a little bit of time in between episodes kind of reorganizing this and redirecting a couple of things. It was actually a fairly simple adjustment, but we are going to go from this to this. Now, doesn't this look a lot better, a lot cleaner, smoother than it was before? I certainly think so, and that is why we're gonna keep it. So basically, all I did is I adjusted the angle of this highway coming in through here. This is, by the way, the main highway that comes from the outside of the map. And I used one of the CCP interchanges, CCP for content creator packs. And that's it. That's all I've done. And with that said, in today's episode, I'd like to focus a little bit on this open space that we have over here. Now, I've mentioned plenty of times before that once we reach the 36,000 milestone that we would come over here and rework the water treatment plants. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to get rid of all of these and we're going to build a new facility for water treatment over here in this area. But before we begin, we are sitting at 6.5 million in the bank, 38,000 in population. We've got some decent RCI demand, and our university is still at level 4. So we need 6 academic works. We do have an academic work in action. So we'll see how many academic works we earn from that. And in the most recent update, they got rid of the little star levels under the university, parks, which we don't have, and also industries. As you can see, Ladybug Farms does not have a 5-star indicator under it any longer. Not sure if that's a glitch or if they meant to do that, but I guess we'll find out in the near future, hopefully. So with moving all of the inland water treatment plants from here to here, I guess moving is not a good term to use. We're going to be constructing a whole new facility over here. So we're going to start somewhere right about over here. I will go ahead and get rid of all of the trees so they are not in the way. But I've come up with a kind of an interesting design for it. We're going to utilize something that's not meant to be utilized for water treatment per se, or for anything water related, you can say. And we'll see how that shakes out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put in some groundwork over here, lay down some roads, and I will come meet you right back. Alright, so this is kind of sort of going to be the rough layout, and what I had in mind was using some of the monorail tracks to serve as water pipes or cleaning pipes, if you will, or distribution pipes, any kind of pipe really related to this. So basically what we're going to do is just circle everything around, and then we're going to put some in between as well. So that's kind of the idea that I had in mind. If we take a look from different angles, it almost kind of sort of looks like it belongs. They're a little bit bigger than the pipes that are on the buildings over here. So I don't know. I guess we'll give it a shot. We'll try it out and see if that works. Now I did do some rough math and how many of these we're gonna need in order to kind of future-proof the city. And I think I left my notes somewhere, but I think the number was 19. So we've got 6 over here. We're gonna need a few more to kind of get to 19. I'm sorry, we don't have 6. We have 12 here, 6 on each side. So to get to 19, maybe even round it up to 20 and kind of see where we're at with that. So it's not only going to be a water treatment district. I was thinking about mixing in some of these other facilities as well, so the pumping service and the tank reservoirs. Now with tank reservoirs, I'm not sure if they're allowed to be placed in polluting areas, meaning that obviously this is going to cause some ground pollution. So this is meant to kind of keep fresh water in it, in order that if a pump fails, then we would revert to using this as opposed to the pump itself. But I'm not sure if it's allowed to be in a polluted area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in a couple of them, kind of scattered around, but we are not going to connect them to the main pipe. So obviously they're gonna need a connection. They're just gonna be interconnected between the two. Is it ideal? No. Is it wasteful? Yes. Are we going for something that looks good? Yes, absolutely. So that's kind of what we're gonna do and see if it works. I'm gonna continue on to kind of mimic this design over here on this side, and then we'll put in something else over here also. Alright, so that's kind of sort of what I had in mind. There are a couple of things that we don't have unlocked yet that are going to make this area look a lot better in my opinion. One of those things is going to be the airport aprons. So when we unlock this, we're going to completely concrete the area, so there won't be any grass kind of hanging around over here. It'll just be completely all nice and concrete. I think that's the way that it should be. Now, as far as this other facility goes, that would be the water pumping station. For something like this, we could technically try and make it a bit of a centerpiece, kind of like a main building, and that should work. And I think it will work perfect. It's kind of like so. Now I don't have anywhere to connect this, so I'm just gonna extend it out a little bit like so and leave it as is. What this is supposed to do is, if we get a flood somewhere, they're supposed to go out and pump out the water and store it in here. But Oh, so it does say that they let the water into the sewers. Okay, so I guess we can connect this to sewage. So it's not going to be recycled back into the fresh supply. It'll go into sewage. So yeah, that actually works. Now this stuff, on the other hand, up here, I left this. I only connected them between themselves. I don't foresee that being an issue. Like I said, they're simply just there for aesthetics, and that's about it. So we're gonna roll with this, and let's come back over here. We're gonna get rid of everything that we have on this side, and I think then at a later date we will figure out what to do with this area. I'm thinking, as opposed to, this is just a thought, as opposed to having a lot more industry over here and kind of clogging up the highways and the roads with so much industry in this one area, what we would do is, when we unlock the nuclear power plants, which I think it should be in the next milestone, yeah, 48,000, we turn this into the power facility central over here. So that's kind of an idea. But for now, we're just gonna get rid of all the water pipes and everything, and let the area get back from pollution, kind of renew itself. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Once we unlock the airport aprons, I'll come back and I'll place those down, and we'll see what that ends up looking like. Now, another thing that should happen either now or a little bit later, I think the sooner the better. That way we kind of reserve the land, is I want to have another train track coming from here, going across the highway and into this big puddle of oil that we have here. So I'd like to have an oil industry over here, maybe combined with some garbage processing services as well. But I feel like that's going to be a project for another episode. To finish off in this episode, let's check on our university and see where we're at there. So we're not completely at the next academic year yet. I'm gonna put the game on 2 speed. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to reserve this part of the land here to combine with the current campus. I keep calling it a university, but it's a campus. And I'm thinking, if that's the right idea, I want to have this be one and done. I don't want to have to move it around anymore. At the same time, I know you understand, and I understand that this is a progression type of a build. You don't have all of the buildings unlocked at the same time, so you're kind of forced to place down what you have without having the option to put in some additional buildings where you would really like them. So that's kind of what we're gonna do for the remainder of the episode. Is we'll start with this right here. I'm just trying to think how exactly to place everything. I know we're gonna need a lot more parking because we are short on parking. So I think we start with that. Let's start with parking. We'll come over here. We'll grab our 2-lane road with wide sidewalks, and we'll go out to about there. And I think we should be able to start with parking lots pretty much immediately. Yeah, so if we put one here, we're gonna go up. Now, I think that should suffice for now. So we've got ample parking now for all of the 7,000 students that we're able to have in the university. So that should be good enough for parking. Now, down this way, since we don't have everything unlocked, I'd like to try and move some of these current buildings from here over here and kind of space everything out to make it look a little bit nicer. So we've got the library, the cafeteria, the gymnasium, labs, auditorium, commencement office. We've got this big one, the School of Tourism and Travel, and the Police Academy. And the study hall. I feel like maybe study hall we move first, and oh, we've got to extend the campus. Alright, so we should be able to put the study hall right about there. It kind of looks alright paired with that. Now the nice thing is that we're able to put in a, I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for the pathway. Not sure where I'm going is the correct word there. We can put a pathway over here, and that kind of sort of almost halfway makes us even with this makes us even with this road. So we will adjust this one. There we go. Now I think that looks a little bit better with pathways on each side. So that's one thing that we're gonna move. Now another thing that we could place is we could actually have a couple of these outdoor studies. I don't see a reason why not. But we could put an outdoor study right about there. I like the way things are looking so far. So we're not gonna necessarily move everything from here. Just a little bit of stuff. That way it's not so cramped over here. So I feel like maybe the School of Tourism and Travel could be the centerpiece here. So just by moving a couple of things from over here, that kind of lets us play around with the design on this side, but it also kind of gives us this open space right here, and we've got some stadiums unlocked. So we've got a basketball arena, we've got the aquatics center, the track and field will not fit as it sits, and this is a baseball park. This would almost make sense to be placed over here simply because we have like a little practice baseball park there. Let me see what that would look like. It looks good actually. I like that. The only thing that sucks is we blocked off the road that I was gonna have coming through here, but that's not necessarily a big issue. So yeah, we'll leave it the way it is. So we've got plenty of parking here. We've even got some parking on the stadium itself, so we'll leave that there. Some people should start gathering up here for a upcoming match. Now we do have a maintenance building, and yes, that maintenance building will fit right in there. And there you have it. I'm actually pretty happy with this. Now we could add some additional dorms over here on this side, or we could just wait until we unlock the level 5 prestigious, and then kind of go from there. And who knows, maybe we'll even have extra room for an additional stadium. Oh, you know what? These need road access. So yeah, this could be somewhere over here. And you know what? I think I just dismissed the where to go. There it is. Oh man, we are one academic work short. So we're gonna go with the hospitality grant this time. We're gonna hope we get that additional academic work in the next one. We're certainly paying a lot of money for it, so I'm gonna hope that we do that. But man, there's really not much else that I want to do or anything that I want to start until we get this figured out. So I was gonna let this thing run for a whole academic year so we can finally get this over with and kind of everything situated. But then I was looking at the student count and how quickly it was dropping, and I think that if I had let it run through for a whole year, that it would have dipped below 1,800 in students, and then all of that would have been for nothing. So what we're gonna do in the meantime is we're going to add a little bit of residential over here. And we're gonna have to restructure a couple of things as well. One of those things being the allowed commercial that we have going on over here. But nonetheless, we'll get it done and hope that we don't drop below 1,800 in students. So let's get rid of all of this commercial right here. We're gonna replace it with offices. So just like so. We'll even add a block. We'll add all the way up to here. Why not? We'll grab a little pathway. Put that right there, and then over here for the rest of everything we can put in residential as long as we have the district, which we now do. Okay, so that's the current plan. Hopefully it works, because if it doesn't, then all of this will have been for nothing. But I'm willing to take a risk and see how it all shakes out. So we're gonna go back out to about this. We're gonna let this whole year finish itself out and cross our fingers that we don't dip below 1,800. And just like that, with the power of YouTube, we are now prestigious. So the student count went up, which is good. Definitely a good thing that we did what we did do. We did unlock the School of Engineering, the Trade School Academic Statue 2, Trade School Media Lab, the Technology Museum, and a beach volleyball club. So that's where we're at. And that makes me happy, because now we can finally, fully complete the campus over here. So this building, the engineering lab, School of Engineering, this is another very long one. And I was thinking about putting that somewhere about here. Luckily, this does not need to be on a road, so it can be on a pathway. So I'm gonna sorta, oh, actually, you know what? I think we should be able to use the guidelines from the road, can we? No, we cannot. You know, one thing that I noticed over here is that our highway is not 100% straight either. So there's a slight bend to it. If you can tell, especially like in between the distance here and here. But I'm not gonna let that bug me too much. So we'll place the School of Engineering right about there, but I don't feel great about it facing the highway, so we're gonna adjust this just slightly. Okay, now that does make some sense. I don't know if it's ideal for it to be kind of on the back end of a baseball stadium. But maybe if we were to spruce it up with some If we were to put something in between that just makes sense, then we could run with that. Yeah, that just doesn't look all that great. Maybe we'll move it a little bit. So if we do that there, what would we put here? And you know, I'm sure I'm making a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be, but I'm kind of like that. So we're gonna have to run with it. So I'll leave that there. Over here on this side, I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to put in some additional dorms over here, or another arena wouldn't be bad either. So what do we have? We've got the football stadium that won't fit. We've got the basketball arena. And this is the aquatic center. I don't hate the aquatic center. We could do this. Let me see how big this is one more time. Oh, I guess the aquatic center has to be connected to a road. We can't just place it. So does the basketball arena. Okay. All right. Not sure why I thought otherwise. Even the baseball stadium here has to be on a road. So if we were to put the aquatics center there, and then add a couple of parks and whatnot in between, or some of these pretty looking statues. So I don't hate that. That actually looks all right. It's better to have the side of this building over here than the front of this building. Yeah, I'll take that. So we've knocked out the School of Engineering, a couple of these statues over here as well. Now let's find something that we can add in the middle over here. Ooh, the beach volleyball club. So we could add a couple of these. So they could, you can say, have their own little chunk of land for just strictly beach volleyball. So we can do that right there. So we went from having not enough room, thinking that everything is going to be cramped, to having a lot of room. So that's good. Maybe a little bit of trees and foliage over here will do us some good too. And yeah, like I said, now we've got a little too much room to play with. I think we can also get rid of all of these additional parks over here that we have. And I remembered that we have a road over here. So I think that we just might be able to... Oh my goodness, there we go. Let me see before I get ahead of myself. Let's see. And it'll fit. Perfect. Alright, now I almost kind of want it just a little bit further up this way. So I'm gonna put in a road. Kind of want to tuck it in. I don't know why. I wanted to take up that whole space up in the corner of the intersection or the interchange. Like that. And that works. I actually really like that, so perfect. All right, so we've got a football stadium as well. Let's get these roads connected. We're gonna add some additional parking out this way. I love it when things end up coming together, don't you? Kind of turn something out of absolutely nothing. Perfect. So a bunch of parking there. We might even be able to add some parking here on the side. And that works, ladies and gentlemen. That works for me. We'll give ourselves a way to okay, so that is a little bit better. And then we've got a little bit of room to play with over here. So I'm wondering if we should kind of occupy it with some of these plazas or statues. Let's take a look and see what we have. And then I guess we don't really have to have anything here. We can just have some open green. I don't see a reason why not. We're gonna need some water. And I think that should be good. I like the way that turned out. We do need to add some trees to kind of beautify the area just a little bit. And there we go. I'm quite happy with the way this whole thing turned out over here. Now we do have a little bit of room to move things around over here on this side. I did also realize that the capacity that we have of 9,700, that's almost 10,000, is never ever going to be filled. I would say that we can comfortably get rid of at least 2 of the dorms, and that's going to drop us down to 9,100. That should be fine. Now what we can do is we can easily come and reorganize this area a little bit as well. I always liked the idea of the commencement office being directly behind the main building, so we can plop it right there. It's not centered, so that means that it doesn't work. We're gonna try and get it centered. Now it is centered, so we'll do that. I highly doubt that we'll be able to. Maybe we will. Let's see. Yeah, that's not gonna work, but we can go one out this way, one out this way, and just like that we have a symmetrical shape. Now we have a cafeteria over here as well. Can move that in right about there. This is the library. We've got some open space over here for the library, the gymnasium. I'm gonna get rid of these 2 parks over here as well. Gymnasium, the laboratories, and the auditorium. The auditorium could, I guess, be really close to the commencement office. Let's say that it's raining and we want to take the graduation inside. So we'll put that right there. Trade school lab could be behind here. I don't see a reason why not. And a gymnasium right about there. We'll get rid of that parking. And this is the groundskeeping, the maintenance building. We should have 1 on each side, and I am okay with it being right about there. So now we've opened up a good chunk of room on this side. I've always thought that the university district over here is a little small, so we can now easily extend our university district. What was that? That's the bookstore. Perfect. So we're gonna cap the campus to right about there, and that actually lines up even better than I thought that it would. Perfect. All right, it's coming along. So now we can expand the university district out this way. And there you have it, folks. We are finally a prestigious campus with a really nice looking layout, in my opinion at the very least. We've got enough attractiveness to where we're not going to dip below 1800, so that'll help us keep our prestigious level. We've got enough academic works, and the only thing that could really knock us down is the student count. So we will need to keep building in order for that to stay up. I'm going to decrease the academic staff now all the way down to 0, because we've been spending a ton of money on that just so we can get the academic works. We no longer need those, so we're going to decrease that down and increase our profit. This addition right here to the campus bookstores and commercial area, I think is going to be a really good addition over here. simply because we have a very large university. We only had a couple of shops to go along with it, and you know what? We can actually add a little more over here as well, just like that. But that should do it. I am overall pleased with what we have done in this episode. We're gonna come over here and build a oil industry. I feel like if not in the next episode, then the one after the next one. But as it sits, it is just waiting for us to take advantage of the resources. And I'm gonna leave you with that. As always, be the best that you can be in everything that you do, and I will see you guys on the next one.